Perfect.
Woo!
Parry Talks, welcome back. If you're watching this, it's probably been a little while. I've had a bit of a break. Uni's been a bit taxing, but we're back with a big ting.
A big ting. Cheers.
Got brother Nerve from Brisbane.
How's it going, ladies
Good,
and
man.
gentlemen?
I thought you were asking me.
And Parry. How are you going?
It's obnoxious for me to think that a guest actually cares about my well-being sometimes. How's your weekend, bro?
Big.
Had-
Newcastle, Sydney, shows back to back. A lot of sweat, a lot of just messy business.
Tears and blood.
Yeah, pretty much.
How are those shows? It's obviously the first Mama's Boy tour shows.
Yeah.
Did they live up to their expectations or exceed?
Yeah, it was mad. Newcastle was crazy. The venue was awesome. They made us fried chicken and stuff. Crowd was sick. They're just really happy to have anybody in Newcastle. So I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I ended up doing a shoey when I was doing the meet and greets. And like, man, yeah, shoeys are something else.
What do you think, eats or act?
I think it's eats, but like, depends what you've been doing in the shoes before the shoey.
Fair.
So like I was like, yeah, I'm ready for this. Like I'm about to drink out of a shoe, whatever. But then as you're downing it, you can smell your sock. Because I've just been on stage for an hour,
Yeah.
sweating my ass off. And then yeah, there's video of it. We can send it to you
What?
if you need it.
What? Let the kids find it themselves.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
What shoe was it?
The shoe I'm wearing right now. Air Max. What is this? 270.
Is there a peak shoe to do a shoey out of? Do you think?
I reckon the best shoey to do a shoey out of would be a high top Doc Marten. That would be the shit.
Proper closure as well. Not many gaps.
Yeah.
No leakage
You
either.
could do a jug. You could do a
Yeah.
whole jug out of a Doc Marten.
You could. Yeah, no. Oh, here we go.
Hey, bro.
Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, good.
Fuck.
That's good.
Keep it awkward. Don't tell them what happened. And then Sydney on Saturday. So the bender of shows.
Yeah, Sydney was
How was that?
fucking ridiculous at the Chippo.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, at the end of it, the walls were dripping. I got down to my boxes. Smack got down to his undies. Nookie was naked at one point. Man, that was a crazy show.
Yeah, monumental show.
Yeah, definitely.
Sydney's always had a sort of a love for Nerve as well, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Sydney has this weird obsession with Australian hip hop anyway, so it's always been a hub, especially in this part of Sydney too.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that are heavily involved in shaping what the scene is in Sydney.
Yeah,
So obviously, you know, when I meet them, I get along with them.
yeah,
And there's just always people here that are kind of excited to hear about new young artists and cultivate them. So
Yeah.
that's why I always like coming here. And I've always like, every time I come here, I meet someone new and go to the studio with them and make music.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like all I want to do. So yeah, it's always mad coming to Sydney.
yeah,
Yeah.
and half of your collaborators are here as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
it's home away from home.
Yeah, it is. It's only, you know, it's only a cheap flight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, man. I love coming here.
Let's take it back. So we talk about Sydney. What about Brizzy? What's it like growing up in Brizzy? What's the scene like in Brizzy? What's Brisbane like?
Brisbane
coming up?
Brisbane's chill. There's not too much happening in Brizzy, I feel. I mean, like, I do want more happening in Brizzy, but I also kind of like being able to duck away from everything and just go back home and kind of do my thing.
Yeah.
I think Brizzy has got Brizzy's got a lot of stuff going on, but it's not necessarily all happening together. It's a lot of different little pockets that seem to be doing their own sort of thing.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that's just how it is. Fuck these guys out here,
What
bro.
the fuck? I've never. Someone's plumbing. Let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah,
If
no,
not,
they'll be right.
No,
I'll just
be able
talk
to
really loud.
No, we'll be able to master it out anyway.
Yeah,
pretty much.
don't
I've had
worry.
noisier
I'm
shit
an
happen.
audio engineer, bro. I'll get it. Popping. Nah.
Well, one of my favourite stories was fucking they shot the Champion for the Chill Champion music video here. I
Yeah.
mean, not for Champion, fuck, Freedom.
Yeah,
Here.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm just interviewing this DJ who has like no real fucking idea of what's going on. And they're blasting this song. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I walk downstairs, just Chill dress up in this like grandpa
Oh, man,
costume. I'm like,
yeah.
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
Well, I'm trying to
right.
do like this intimate podcast with this like really like technical house DJ. I'm like, this is fucked. It was good, but story.
Yeah, the Gladdy. That's what happens at the Gladdy, bro.
Yeah. So where did all like what was your first say like rap memory or music memory where it's just vivid like this is actually sort of fucking sick?
Sort of happening. I mean, like my first show was mad. I played to like 50 people, and I was just like, I remember when I started and when I was writing music and making beats, all I wanted was like, if I get to rap in front of 10 people and they like it, I'll be able to die happy. And then like I did that, and I was like, I want to do something bigger, and then I'll die. Like it's always just a bigger thing.
Yeah.
So like my first show was mad. First ever show, I like rapped in front of like 50 people, and then some like I signed like 3 CDs because someone was just like, I remember this German backpacker like taking my CD and being like, "Can you sign it?" And I was like, "What the hell? I don't even have a signature at this point."
Sign initials.
Signed it, and they were like, "This is gonna be worth $1 million in like 10 years." And I was like, "Cool, yeah, mad. That's a bit of inspiration. That's cool."
Yeah,
it was good.
Backpackers are crazy.
They are, bro.
So the first show, what was it like? What were you rapping about then? What were your raps like then?
They were like super, super, super verbose, like way too complex syllables or like words for like anyone listening to really digest quickly. Like I was like heavily influenced by Aesop Rock and LP. And they're just like white dudes that talk too much kind of thing. So like, no, that's so fucking shit to say. They're mad artists and I love them. But I was just like reading heaps of books. Always had a dictionary on me trying to learn new words, and I would always try and stick a new word in a rap. And I guess it was like, I knew that it was like formative in terms of like making music. Like I knew I was gonna have to make a bunch of weird music for a couple of years before I knew what I was doing. So I just did that, and I was like a super hip hop purist for the first couple of years. Like didn't fuck with anything like trappy or whatever. And so yeah, my early music was like super purist boom bap sort of stuff, but just with a weird like nerdy edge. Yeah.
Where did that like nerdy, obviously the artist, but like was there anything else going on where it, like in your life where it just like that was just your focus at the time?
Yeah.
Or was it like
uni,
purely?
Yeah. Like so I started like writing raps like my first or second year into doing uni, and I was doing, at the time I was doing quantum physics and I was doing quantum physics and psychology. And like the psychology subject I was doing had a neuroscience aspect, so I was just like learning heaps of shit about like all these different things, and just having my mind blown on the daily by like just like quantum physics is fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Like proper. Like, everything you learn in that just makes you question reality.
Yeah.
So I was just writing heaps trippy weird shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like just filling my brain with information.
Yeah. And like those two subjects probably have the biggest like words, like in terms of word length and syllables and like actual numbers of letters in those words. So you probably like
big words,
big word things.
Yeah. So I think like if I listened back to my shit from then, I wouldn't even really know what I was talking about half the time. I was like, hit him with like the 6-syllable words that just like do not mean anything in layman's terms, but it was lit because I don't know, it was just lit.
Yeah.
It was like also like I had to develop making beats as well as lyrics. So, but yeah, that's what shaped the early sound.
I think uni's such an interesting place for people that are creative, because it like uni can force a lot of complacency on it, so it's hard to find motivation creatively when you're sitting at uni doing a class. It's like, well, if my raps don't make it or my interviews don't make it, well, I guess I have this. So it's that like backhand complacency. So how did you like keep motivation through like uni and stuff to grind out bars and beats and stuff?
I don't know. I feel like it was both ways though, because I've seen so many people get a degree and then just not do anything with it. So I was also at uni being like, well, I could get this degree and then not get a job, so maybe I should do something that'll make me happy. Like, I feel like no matter, like, as long as I have music, like, I want to be a successful musician, I want to make money, I want to turn it into a career, but as long as I have it, it doesn't matter, because if I have like a 9-to-5 job and I can come home and make music and have a passion, then it'll make the job easier because I can look forward to something.
Exactly.
I watch so many people just get a job out of school and move out, and now all they do is drink piss and complain about work, and it's like, mad. Sick.
Yeah, just a 9 to 5, and then I got work drinks Friday night.
Yeah.
Bend that into Saturday. Wake up on Sunday, recover, go back to work on Monday.
Yeah. So I'm not really about that.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone fundamentally
is about that. I think a lot of people don't know that they're in that, and they if you explain it to them, they'd probably get pissed off and then realize later that they're not about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ain't trying to preach to anybody, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
someone out here gonna someone listening is gonna take some hits.
Yeah, someone's gonna be like, "Damn, I feel attacked."
Who knows? Maybe
just get a hobby in that.
Maybe one day they'll
find some meaning in your life.
Maybe they'll listen to this and then we'll change their lives.
Yeah. Maybe we just inspired a generation of people to go get a model train set and look forward to that when they get home. I don't know.
All 25 people listening, we got to get 1 out of 25 to actually do something with their life.
Let's do it. We out here inspiring the youth, man. Let's go.
But producing.
Yes.
I think it's a slept on thing by a lot of people in terms of the learning curve of it.
Yeah.
How did you start producing? What was the motivation starting beats? Was that before rapping or after rapping?
It was
how
all
did
at
that
the same
process
time.
begin?
Yeah, it was all at the same time. Kind of I guess I started writing raps, and then I was like, oh well, I had one mate that was never ever gonna be rapping, just demeanor. I was like, I wanted him to rap, but he was like, nah. So I was like, oh, make beats, and then we cracked a bunch of software together and started making beats, and just yeah. He would just come over and we'd make beats all the time, always making just weird shit.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I guess it just developed. We started a duo. We made a CD. That was the one I threw out at my first show. I was just flinging hundreds of CDs out all over the place, at all these different places across the city, getting finally going into community radio and rapping on community radio. And what was the question? Producing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we did that, just kept making more and more beats, and then just developing those skills. And then I met a guy, Sam Steenson, and he was this wizard. Well, he is. It sounds like I'm talking about a dead guy. I always do that. He's still alive. He's kicking. He is he was just my age, and just this crazy young dude that I met really randomly. He was a janitor at my parents' church, and I showed him my shit, and he was this is mad. And then he took me to his place, and he had a studio in the shed, and he had 40-50 grand worth of just dope equipment, and he was he's my age, so he just showed me. I just watched him make stuff, and then everything just went from there. Within a year of meeting him, all my shit was I guess pretty much industry standard sort of sound quality, whereas before that it was dog shit. Yeah. So yeah, it was mad.
But was there a beauty in that dog shit stuff, do you think? Listening back to it, the roughness and edginess of it?
But I fucking hate it. Yeah. But other people love it. Yeah. They're whoa, this is mad, this heaps raw, and I'm just nah. It was mostly my delivery. It was me finding my voice. Obviously I had a higher voice then, but I was also yelling, trying to combat that. Whereas now I feel comfortable enough to just literally just talk. Yeah. On a song, But it took a long time to find my voice, because I was trying to figure out how do I want to sound, how do I, because it's a tricky climate, Australian hip hop. Yeah. You got to find your niche. You got to jump through a lot of hoops, I guess. Yeah.
Just because it's so easy to imitate when you're here. And it's harder to be entirely natural when there's not a lot to look up to. Well, there is a heaps to look up to, but it's hard to look up in such a growing environment.
It's still a small scene.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still a small scene. You only got so many people doing each sound, so you got to find your own, or else you're just gonna not be anybody, I guess.
How long do you think it took you to properly be comfortable with your direction and your voice and your beats and stuff, and think, all right, now I feel I've got an actual grasp on this?
I don't know. I think
or is that an ever evolving process of just?
It is, yeah. It's ever evolving. I feel this year's been a big year for a vision. My vision of being this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it. I think I was confident with my music. It got to a point where I was okay, I know my shit's dope. I just need to be put in front of people. Yeah. After doing enough free shows, and just seeing people's reactions and stuff, like I knew that I had something.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, a lot of people can have something, but you also got to make it work.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be successful, it's not just the music, it's the business, it's all that sort of stuff. This year's been a big year for that. And also just like branding, imagery, what you want to represent. Like the whole Mama's Boy thing for me was just trying to find how I can best explain what I'm about and what I represent. And for me, it's like Mama's Boy just fit. It was like, how do I explain to everybody that I'm like, I don't fuck around, but I also love my mum, and I'm like trying to be like a soft, gentle person that also like you don't fuck with. Yeah. And like, just, you know what I mean? Just like all that sort of stuff at once. You can't just be like, hey, this is my album called like, I'm trying to be socially conscious, but also don't fuck with me. I'm a little bit cool. I love my mum. Like, you don't call it that. You just go like fucking Mama's Boy. And the thing is, like, if anyone didn't like me in the music scene, I know that their first thing they would say is like, he's a fucking
he's a mama's boy.
So I'm just like, yeah, fuck you, mad.
It's just like a mini defense mechanism.
Yeah.
But do you think, how should I phrase this? It's like, now that you know that you've got your foot in the door, it's like the first like big statement of like, this is actually who I am, and this is like the first, like, even though obviously you've got like Sober and stuff. Yeah. But Mama's Boy is like the first like,
it's so much
kicking
more,
the door down. Like,
yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah. I feel like Sober was like too vague as like a concept, but it was also like that had its own place in setting me apart, because I was chucked into a culture, and like I love being part of the culture, but I was chucked into a culture that I didn't really feel at home anywhere. Like I haven't felt at home being thrown into any sort of scene, you know what I mean? And so I kind of just had to like make my own little thing, like everyone. And like, not saying like when I dropped Sober, like I think people took it too literally. It's not like like I don't really drink that much or like smoke that much, but like I get drunk and I smoke a bit of weed and whatever. But like Sober was just being like, like just like in a scene full of like all this shit, like promoting whatever, which I don't have a problem with, because I understand people are telling their story, but I'm like telling my story as well, and I'm just like, I like getting shit done, and I don't like getting fucked up and whatever, and it was just a way to like set myself apart. But I feel like Mama's Boy was just like just putting everything on steroids, and like just the whole imagery, the whole thing, it was just like hilarious. So it was good. It's just, and like I think every artist gets to a point where their branding becomes really self-aware. They don't take themselves too seriously anymore, and and they just get it, like they understand it from their point of view. Like, if I take myself too seriously, it's not gonna you know. And Mama's Boy was like watching that from like someone that's new to the scene, from my perspective, and being able to like see this new artist, their branding's really strong, it's Mama's Boy, it's witty, it's hilarious, it makes it really easy for me to hop in at this point. And that, if you know what I mean, like I feel like a lot of people have been able to jump in and like, it's just like you look at it and you're like, oh, this looks like something to check out. It's not too intimidating or anything like that. And it's like just a bit different, bro. Like you just see, like, I think the main thing for me was like the statement about that was just owning it. Like I've just been telling people like so much lately, like just to own it, as in like, if you fuck up, own it. If you do something wrong, own it. Just like own it. Like don't be a bitch about it. Exactly. And like like I'm a Mama's Boy. Exactly. It's just like fucking whatever. I can still do shit. Like, you know you're still a boss. There's no shame in loving your mum. And it's not like it's all about like loving your mum either. It's like, I'm a Mama's Boy. Like I don't know. It's just, it is what it is, Mama's Boy. It is what it is, bro. Like the fans can decide what it is. They can figure it out. But well, now that we're here, let's talk through some tracks. Obviously, ASMR is like the big slapper. Man, I remember listening to that for the first time. I was just like, with my brother in the car, I was like, oh, new nerve, because I put it on. Like, I didn't really look at the features or take account, or he hadn't even seen the features. And then he plays it, and like, I run it, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, with Raj's first verse. And then the thing I love about that song, it goes up, like, it's like at your neck for Raj verse, and then you like roll it back, like. And then, it's like 4 verses, but it doesn't feel like just straight aggression or like whatever. But that track came about, I don't know if you've seen the Triple J cipher with me.
Yeah,
that one
with the beat.
That beat was on that, and then that was a year and a half ago. And then Triple One commented on it, and it was Marty just being like, that nerve beat at whatever. He's like, oh my God, that nerve beat. Because all the beats on that cypher were mine, and that was like a big flex for me.
Yeah.
Like, went on Triple J with like... Because in that cypher, bro, like, I felt like the little bro. Like, it was Husky, Alex Jones, and Chill. And I was there, like... My thoughts after that was like, why was I even in that?
Yeah.
Like, these dudes are fucking crazy. Like... I was just happy that they were my beats because I was like, I was doing my thing.
Yeah.
If that cipher happened now, I would be like, fuck yeah, like I should be here.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna own it. So it's like I wasn't as confident then, I don't think. But it was mad. It was mad having them like rap on that beat, and then like Marty and Triple One just like they just wouldn't shut up about it. It was like such a simple beat, and it was mad. So it was like, we have to do something. But it just like, you know, shit has to happen naturally, and like we didn't link up that much. And I think that was even before I met them.
Yeah.
And then A-Bomb tour, like this is like almost a year after that. And like we had a show in Melbourne, and Raj came down for it. He did the main support, and we were just sitting in the Airbnb, and Raj's manager was just like, oh yeah, so Raj did this. And like I don't even remember sending him the beat. Like I think I did. Like I sent him a bunch of beats. Trying to get Raj on something, and then like I remember sending him the beat, and like then they just hit play, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I was like, this has to happen. Like Raj's verse, I was like, done.
Yeah.
And then like I sent Marty and Obi that verse, and they had like a verse back in a week, and then I was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it came out sick.
Yeah. Are you like, go back to that cipher? Had they like rapped on your beats before, like recognized your beats before those guys, or was that the first time?
They knew I made beats. Yeah. Like they knew I made all my own shit. Like we'd all known each other for like at least a year at that point.
Right, yeah.
You know, like I've met most of those. I think I met Husky November 2017. So that was like April 2018.
Yeah. Right.
Flea probably a bit earlier. So yeah, like I'd known them all for like 6 to 8 months, and they all knew I made beats and shit. Like we all had mad respect for each other.
Easy.
But it was more just like I was still new. Like Husky been around for a bit, and it's just Husky, bro. Like you just don't knock it. Like Husky's the goat.
Yeah, he is.
Flea's been around for ages. Chill's been around for ages. You know what I mean? And like, and also like, I just feel like those dudes are just like heavy in the game.
Yeah.
And, like, so I was just like sitting there like,
holy shit.
yeah. And like I went on there as well. I went on there being like, I'm gonna wear my hair out and look like Otto the fucking bus driver and just look way out of place, like on purpose, because it was like 3 like goats, and then like, who is this guy? But even if they're like, who is this guy? People will either be like, who is this guy? He spits dope, but he looks weird, or like, who is this guy? Fuck this guy. Regardless, they'll be like, they'll remember my face. You know what I mean? Like I'm on Triple J with like them, and like I think I held my own. I just don't think I was as confident then as I am now. But,
I remember that cypher was crazy because you 3 were going, and then everyone's just waiting for Husky to like spit. Yeah, and he spits like a whole fucking like proper.
There's heaps that was cut out of that was gold. Like that cypher on YouTube, was it like 10 minutes long? That original was like half an hour, and they spat on like way more of my beats. Like we had like boom bap beats that like there was this one bit where like it was one of my hip hop beats, and Husky spat on it. If that was like on YouTube, that would have like 1 million views easily by now. Like he killed it. It's just that they were trying to like the process of getting people into Aussie hip hop. Like I'm pretty sure like I feel like Triple J or like whatever had to be like very selective with what they put up, because they didn't want to like. It's just raw shit.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah, it's just raw shit.
At the same time as well, if I'm scrolling through just looking for Aussie hip hop or whatever, and there's like this super intimidating 30-minute sci-fi, I'd be like, oh shit, I can't sit through all this. But because they've put it in this like 10-minute enjoy, like have a little dabble in what Aussie hip hop is, it's like that has its benefits too as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Instead of spitting some fucking debauchery for 45 minutes.
Yeah, well that's like what the grime ciphers end up being like. It's like an hour of like 15 MCs just going. It's mad for people that love grime, but it's less digestible for other people. Yeah.
For the
laymen,
groove in the mood.
For the normies.
No, not groove in the mood. That's fucking harsh as. But you know, like, ASMR.
Yeah.
Fuck, what a
Big
song.
Slapper. Big slapper. I love that one.
I remember. Yeah, the film clip as well went hard as well. Like just everything about.
Came out mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raj kicking the door down.
Yeah.
Getting up off the toilet. It was mad.
What house was that? Or did you just hire it?
That was
out?
Bodega. Bodega
Alright.
Studio.
Shit.
Yeah. There's like 8 studios in that house.
Wow.
It's sick.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like rummaging through it.
Yeah, it's
Brockhampton
crazy.
vibes.
Yeah,
Like, Gone Stupid.
yeah. I
That,
love that one.
beat is crazy. The siren is. Oh, is it even a siren? What is it? Like the.
It's just like a trumpet or something.
Shit.
Yeah, it's just like so simple too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I made that. That was we started a new studio in like May or like just before May, and that was the first beat I made in the studio. I actually had a mate living there, and he's like raps a little bit but not a whole lot. And I was like, oh, let's go downstairs. Like I was really psyched, so I was like, oh, let me make you a beat. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like in the studio. I was like making him a beat, and I made that. And then halfway through, I was just like, I think I'm gonna take this one. And then yeah, so like. I don't know, it just happened. Most of the songs that I like best or that I'm like most proud of, they just happen like really quick, and like I don't think about it too much.
You hear that a heap. I'm more just like organic shit's the best. Like if you're grinding out a song for 4 weeks straight, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I know like Triple One can do it because like if they're grinding out a song for ages, it's probably because Bill is like unhappy with someone's vocal take and he's just getting them to do it 100 times until it's perfect. That's what, Bill's he's hectic with that. But like in terms of the idea, concept, vibe, all that shit, you can get that down in half an hour.
Yeah.
And for me, because I make beats, like as soon as I've got a melody and a bass line and like a little bit of drums, like most of the time I don't want to waste my energy finishing the beat. I'll write the whole song while I'm making the beat.
Yeah.
Finish writing the song, finish making the beat in like an hour or two, and then I'll just go straight to the studio and record it. And that's like generally what happens with like the best tracks.
Yeah, and
like
I hear it from producers and like whether in like the dance world or whatever, the hip hop world, it's like like 90% of the work gets done in 10% of the time, and then like finishing off that 10% at the end is like what
takes ages.
Yeah.
It's like you just get this like and you like for me it's like I can hear the whole song start to finish when I get that like little bit like I could hear like just a small little progression and just be like bang, this is the whole song, I know exactly how it's gonna go. And then it just like it's just
done,
and then all the touch-ups later. But yeah, it's pretty much just like that.
So I had to write that song. I didn't have to write it up, but I got shot through my email for Purple Sneakers.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, let's check this shit out. And then I was like, when the not beat changes, but when like it's just like a snare or something, it's like with my Greek boys eating pet of it. I'm like, I'm fucking sold, bro.
Yeah,
that's it. I'll take it.
Yeah, fuck.
So what's the
Greek boys?
Do you have Greek mates or something?
Yeah, Sammy Mac. He's like, he's my G, man. Like he hype mans and DJs like a lot of my shows. Like he's kind of like touring with me like everywhere I go at the moment. And he's doing his thing. He's real similar to me. He like writes, records, mixes, produces all his own shit. He, I guess like when I met that dude I was talking about before that taught me all my stuff, Sammy came along about 6 months later and did the same thing.
Oh, right.
So that dude taught us both heaps of stuff, and I taught Sammy stuff, and like we just worked together for ages, and then Sammy just developed his sound. And I was just, and also like the new studio we're at is under a house. So like Sammy runs the studio with me, and then one of the housemates is also like mega Greek as well. So I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, like Greek boys. Like I feel like you can't fuck with Greeks, bro. Like you can like, if you're like a Nazi or a racist or whatever, you can hate like black people or like you can hate whatever. And if you're like whatever, you can hate white people and shit. But there's just like Greeks. Like, what are you gonna like? I don't know, bro. Like it's like Greeks. Like I don't know. It's just like Greeks are just mad. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, bro, so I was just like, this is sick.
I don't know if they've taught you, but they probably have. When you go home, look up Oki Day.
Oki Day.
Yeah. Ask your Greek mates about it.
Okay.
And it's like the biggest Greek, like where Greeks don't fuck with anything, like you'll ever witness in your life.
Okay.
It's like,
sick.
It's like the Italians tried to invade Greece in World War II. And the Greeks said, nah, fuck off, and fucked them off. Like, it's the most Greek thing ever. And it's like our national fucking day of pride. Like,
yeah, mad.
Just telling Italians to get fucked.
Yeah, dude, I reckon just Greeks just go hard, and they just don't fuck around.
What's the goat Greek meal, but?
The goat Greek meal?
Yeah.
I had a, I don't know if this is Greek, I'm pretty sure it's Greek, but this one time I missed my flight to Melbourne on Tiger, and I had to pay for a Qantas flight, and I was so gutted. I paid $300, but I got a gozleme on the flight.
No, it's not.
Is that Lebanese? Bro, cut that out.
No, okay.
Cut that out. I told you I wasn't sure if it was Greek.
No, that you did preface it with that, so we're good.
Nah, man, I can't even remember.
Slovakia, bro, lamb roast.
Yeah, we had... Oh, because there was 3... No, there was 2 Greek housemates. And we had 3 housemates upstairs. 2 of them were Greek and then Sammy. So, like, we had 3 Greek dudes. And then in that music video, we were having dinner at one of the Greek grandma's places.
That's so iconic.
What did she make, man? It was like a lasagna.
Oh, pastitsio probably. Was
Yeah,
it like,
yeah.
did it have a thick layer of cream at the top?
Yeah,
Was the pasta not like sheets, but like actual pasta, but like in a lasagna form?
I think so. Yeah,
Pastitsio, bro. That's
It
some
was
hard
dope.
shit.
it was dope.
That's about as horny as
Hey,
it
Martin.
gets. Martin, come here.
ASMR is a good song, eh? Wait, how did you discover the ASMR beat?
Off the Triple J freestyle.
Yeah, it was Marty.
Done
Marty
it.
made it happen.
Proof.
Yeah, I commented, I was like, these beats fire, and everyone liked it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Big Marty.
Done it.
Big Marty on the
Big
beat.
Martin B.
Yeah.
What a cracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, going stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that beat, just the way it changes and moves. But like listening back to Sober, and then I thought this now, listening back to Mama's Boy, because like your sounds become a lot more refined. Like even though you said at the start, like there's a lot more bars, you were saying like all these complex bars and shit. I feel like you're still evolving on that, where now like the songwriting is like to an even higher tier. Like the bars are still there, don't get me wrong, but the songwriting is a higher tier.
Yeah.
Is it something that you notice like internally as well?
Yeah, I think a big thing for me was playing live shows has really dictated how I write music, because I played so many live shows. The year I made Sober, I played so many live shows with a lot of different people, and I think watching people, like watching Chill rock a set and like watching other people rock a set just like taught me heaps about like what gets a crowd going. And I started really, I think Mama's Boy, like one of the main things that you can see through the whole thing is like you can listen to pretty much like any song on that and see how it would go at a live show. There's a lot of the stuff on Sober is like verse hook. In Mama's Boy, it's like there's bridges, there's dropouts, there's little breakdowns and stuff, and like it all just goes off at live shows because I can like hype the crowd up. There's times for people to chill out, and there's times for people to go nuts, and like it's all just really crowd involved. Because getting people to go wild at a show is like the most satisfying part about pretty much all of this. You know, I just love having people go nuts, and that's why it's been such a sick tour, because like people went nuts in Newcastle.
You're only 2 shows in as
nuts
well.
In Sydney, man. Like people went proper stupid. It was sick.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's mad.
Going stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing that I mainly picked up, and you hear it a lot in Aussie hip hop world, which is what like one of the best things is there are moments in the verses that are so hype. Like it doesn't have to just be the hook that people sing along to. Like just moments in verses that are really important, and like just massive hooks and like massive catchphrases and shit that really keep people in, especially during longer verses like on Gone Stupid.
Yeah, I feel like in America, got a lot of artists that like you don't even really need to know what they're saying, they just sound cool. In Australia, it's like pretty much at the moment it's like all about what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I watched like Husky and Chill and just watched like what bars went off at shows, you know? And it's always just the ones that like, you know, like it's like the same, bro. Like you hear 1-4, everyone's just like who wants it?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Most simple thing.
Yeah.
Like who wants it? Or just like retaliation is a must. Ain't no maybe zips or buts. It's like you got to write something that people can just be like, anyone can say. Because you got like 9 to 5ers listening to 1-4 and like just being in their car like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You got like just, I don't know, I just focused really hard on like writing something that other people could resonate with, that also like I resonate with too.
Yeah, I think in Australia we're so proud of our vernacular and our words and stuff as well. So that's why we're so like in terms of like all our slang, everything in that regard is like so. Everyone's so proud of it here. So now that people are really embracing our language and our phrases and like what people say in Western Sydney, or what people say in Brisbane, or what people say in Inner West Sydney, and bringing that to bars, everyone's like, holy shit, this is how we speak. Like this is actually us.
I think that there was definitely a stage where like I wasn't as proud of it, so I've been getting like, you know, I feel like using it more, and like now I'm like, it's mad. It's like it's helped how much everyone's backing like the Australian scene.
Yeah.
It helps us feel like we can do what like is natural and get and have support for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mad.
Cricket bars are the best as well.
Yeah. Ever since that Triple J side,
Yeah.
it's like little. Do you see that little Chazza kid from the UK?
Oh, and the guy that reacts to all the videos and stuff.
And he was like, "We got cricket bars." Son. And I was like, "Okay, this is working now. Like,
But-
this is mad."
You had a Bradman bar in the
Yeah.
walk talk part 2, right?
Yeah, breaking boundaries like Don Bradman in his heyday. I think that's like a good bar too, because like I'm breaking boundaries, but he's
Yeah.
hitting boundaries. Yeah,
You know.
it's a classic. And then like Chill commented on it, and he's like, "Only my Don Bradman
Yeah.
can get that because that's his five
Yeah.
days test match."
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like mad.
Benders, eats or
Benders.
art. Test
For
matches,
me,
eats or art.
look, eats like test match eats, but not necessarily for me.
Yeah.
I've got to, I don't know, bro, like,
Yeah.
like, I like to conserve myself, hey.
My whole thing is like a planned bender.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
Like, I can mentally prepare,
Yeah.
have good feeds before, heap of water before, but unplanned benders are fucking so arced.
Yeah, it's ucked for me because, I've just got a lot on my plate. Like, I can't
Yeah.
rock up to a city and just be like, okay, I'm going to perform and not think about anything until my set. Like, I'm the one that loads up the USBs. I'm the one that, like, does when
Yeah.
we go recording in between shows. Like, I'm the one that's engineering the
Yeah.
session. Like, I got too much going on in my head for a bender because, like, I'm just, like, kind of like a high-functioning stress
Yeah.
head. So, like, if I bend, then I'm just gonna get sick, and like it's just how it is. And I fucking hate being sick.
Yeah.
I hate being not at like 100% productivity. So, love getting my drink on like after a show.
Yeah.
But I don't drink any other time. Otherwise, I just fall asleep and get depressed. You know what I mean? Like I have to be
It's the
like
biggest
buzzing.
mood.
Yeah, I have to be buzzing off something. So yeah.
Just straight energy.
Yeah, I could bend a sober. Like,
Yeah,
I could like bend a, like I'll get lit off other people's energy. Like if I was in a room with 10 gacked people, I'd be basically
That's
gacked.
enough, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like yeah, I was on in Nui. I was on Barocca vodka Red Bulls, and like everyone thought that I'd been spiked with MDMA because I was like
So wide, yeah.
bro, after the set, because this tour has been like the first tour where like I come out on stage and everyone's like, I felt like everyone was going nuts when they saw me and they all knew every lyric to every
Yeah.
song, and I was just like, this is crazy. That's like a massive change. That's a massive change in vibe to just playing a show and having a crowd love you. Is like when they see you and they freak the fuck out is like crazy, and that energy just like got me like I
Yeah.
ran backstage after the set and did like 50 push-ups and then just like got super smashed. I kicked the DJ off at the club and like DJ'd for an hour, and like because like the staff like they were fans, and I was just, like, I was smashed. Like bro, he like handed me a case of Red Bull and I just dropped the whole thing and I was like, oh, can I DJ now? And like we kicked the DJ off and I DJ'd for an hour and just cleared the room out, like because I was just playing like shit that I like they were playing like Dancing Queen by ABBA and I just dropped into like the heaviest dubstep. But I was just having a mad time.
All right, let's hold there. Dubstep. Do you like much dance music and stuff? Like, what's DJing for you? Is it like an actual thing that
I just
you
DJ.
could have embarked?
I love DJing. I've only started doing it like the last year, but I have so much fun with it just because it's like a chance for me to listen to whatever the fuck I want. That's why I think I don't.
Loud.
That's why I clear the room.
Yeah.
Because I'm in there and I don't give a fuck about who's in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to DJ. Like, but usually what I do is like, I have this one DJ mix on my USB, and it's just like we had a No One Network birthday party, and an hour before the party, I just went on my Spotify playlist and I was like, boom, 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 just YouTube to MP3, like shit quality every song, and then I just rocked up and like did my first DJ set. But because of producing and mixing and mastering and all that shit, it just came heaps naturally. So I think I was like pretty good at it to start with. I just like did all these weird like remixes and shit, or like mashups live, and like people were like really liking it. So I was like, oh cool. And now I just want to DJ. Like if I get lit, all I want to do is DJ. So it's mad.
I want to hear my music loud, not these dickheads.
Yeah.
Much.
And then I was playing my own shit. At Newcastle too, I was playing my own shit because I had fans there like being like, play on tick, play all this shit off like my old album, and I was like, man, I haven't got that. So, anyway, yeah, it was good fun.
Oh, DJs.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Going stupid.
Yeah. What's next?
I got Bo.
Yeah.
Obviously the heaviest track. I don't want to bring shit up, but
Yeah.
how does it feel like reflecting on such a dark time? Is like a massive weight off the shoulders for you? Do you feel?
I think it wasn't like super crazy because like I guess like the whole thing about it is like when all that shit happened, I was a baby, so like it did not affect me the way it like affected like my mum and my dad. But I just knew like I was just thinking like I think a problem I had with music for a while was being like, what have I got to say? Like when I started, I was just like rapping about rap and like hip hop and like rapping and shit. And then like, I was just like, nah, I have to tell my own story. And then I had the thought, I was like, oh, well, like what's happened? Like, when I feel like if you say you got to tell your story and you say a lot of people like, oh, what's your story? They'll just be like, oh, like, I don't know. I got nothing to talk about, but everybody has something to talk about. And I had the thought, I was like, oh, well, nothing's happened to me. And then I was like, oh, actually, nah, like a lot of shit's happened with my family. So I was like, I kind of just made it a mission. I was like, I got to write a song about this. And it came out really randomly, hey. Like
Because the beat sort of like fucking hits.
It's really eerie.
Yeah.
It's really eerie, creepy beat. That's why it's like cool,
Yeah.
I feel like. It's really like, I don't know, it's like chilling in a way. And like I wrote that song in a room full of people, like they were all like, I was in a room full of people like having a sesh.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, it was just super weird. Like they were all like smoking in the corner, and I just like hit a vibe. I don't know. I was like, I gotta write about this, and like I just sat down with headphones on and like wrote the whole song. And I was just like, because I was trying to be delicate with it, man. Like, it's a delicate thing. I don't think my mom's heard it, or like anyone's heard it, but yeah, I guess I'll hear it eventually.
Exactly.
And like I knew I had to write something about it. I was actually going to interview them about it and like ask them a lot more questions, because I think a lot of that came from like, I didn't know like anything about, like there was just one day when I was like, what actually like happened like that day? Like what the hell was that day like?
Like the narrative of it.
Yeah, and I asked my mom about it. She told me the story, and I was like, that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But like, no, it was really good to get it out and like actually tell a story about myself. And I feel like it's just nestled in there nicely. Like I don't need to shove it down anybody's throat. Yeah. And yeah, it was just nice to have it on there and have it get it out, and like a lot of people felt it, and it was crazy having people like know the words and everything to that at the show. And like, yeah, it was sick. Mad little experience, like really cool to pull it out at a show and just like tell people a big story about some stuff.
Yeah,
and like, I feel like I try to bring it back and make it like inspirational and not just like a sad
that's
story.
what I mean. So it starts off like sort of slaps you in the face a bit, but then all the motivation vibes, all the really like make it like, holy shit, this is like because on its own, if you just told that sad story, it's like it's the end of every EP done. Yeah,
it'd be lame.
But
it'd be like, why?
Yeah, and then it goes back into ASMR after it. So it's like you tell this motivational thing, and then it's like, look where we are now.
Yeah. So that's what it's for, I guess, because it's pretty confronting. But then like, and at a show, like the way I perform it is it's really accentuates that. Like, it's really like dark for the first half, and like I'll be looking at the ground and like being like blah blah blah. But then as soon as like the shit kicks in, like everyone's back into it and like jumping. And like I'm connecting with the crowd and stuff, and like they're all feeling it, so it's like a good moment. Yeah.
Damn, heavy shit.
Yeah, my bruh.
I'll tell you a good story about that after.
Okay.
The thing.
Yeah, mad.
Yeah. How would you describe, like, obviously very dynamic, in terms of like, oh, you can rap on some soul shit, rap on some boom bap shit, rap on some grime stuff, rap on some trap stuff. Where do you think you feel most comfortable, if there is a most comfortable, at this point of your career? The tough question to ask.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel comfortable in with. It depends on who I'm with, I reckon. At the moment, I'm trying to like network and work with other artists and like find the next sound, because I think that I limit myself by working with like only myself sometimes. Like I've on that EP, or like out of the last like 50 tracks I've dropped, I've probably got like 4 beats that aren't mine.
Yeah.
So like, I've been trying to just work with all sorts of different artists, and I've been working with like, I've been going way outside the box. Like, I've been trying to work with a lot of singers. I've been working a little bit with Adrian Eagle as well. He's a boss. I've just been, I don't know, like, I don't think it's a style, I think it's an energy, like the person I'm with, or like, but like definitely like at the moment it's like that sort of like high tempo, like trappy sort of like steez, because you can go half or double, and but I've also been working on melodies and singing a lot more, so I don't know, it's hard to say.
Just people.
It's all about people and like energy, even if they're not involved in making the song. Like if Joe's at the studio with me and like he's just watching, that helps, because he has like, I feel like with music, like it doesn't matter how much music you make, if you're talking about the vibe of a song and the energy, everyone's opinion has just as much weight. Like Joe, who's never like produced or whatever, he was in the studio when we made A-Bomb, and he like made that song sound like how it sounded, because he
like
was
an A&R
he was just like, make it sound more distorted, make it sound more distorted. It's funny as
distort that shit.
But it's
Miami
all about
Kings.
people. That's what makes me feel
comfy.
comfortable.
So like, but even though like you almost described it like just producing by yourself can be limiting, I reckon it's defined your sound so much, and it's given you that like leg up for sure.
Well, it also means that like I'm never gonna drop anything that I don't fuck with, because I know exactly what I like. And I know how to talk to people about music, because I know all the terminology and stuff. And I think it brings me, doing all that shit brings the right people to me, because the right people will come to me with the respect that like, if the right people have looked into my music and understand that I like produce, mix and master, they're gonna have a level of respect that only someone who understands that shit would have. And so like when I work with people and they understand that, it's just a nice energy. They like know that like I'm about it, and like I know that they're about it, and like it makes me, I don't know what I'd do without it, because I think it's a big asset of mine. And like, for example, like last weekend, Adrian Eagle was in town for a show, and we were just chilling, and like, we're mates, but we're in very different spheres in like Australian music, but I've really wanted to like work with him for a long time, because he's just incredible. And I was like, and he was like, let's go to the studio tomorrow. And I was like, cool, like I'll pick you up, blah blah blah. And I know he makes like Aussie soul, so that next morning I was like, boom, Adrian Eagle, Aussie soul, boom, and like I made a beat in like a half hour, went and picked him up and showed him in the car, and he was like, done, let's do it. And by the end of the day we had like a demo, so like I can like match someone's vibe. Like I feel like I can like talk to someone for 5 minutes about music and then make something just for them and like nail it. So that's why like, that's what it does for me. It's becoming like not a trend, but a very like positive trend, in the sense like, see Tyler the Creator uses it in all his branding now. Like JPEG Mafia like makes it like a thing. It's like, I produce, mix, master all my shit. And then like you as well, and like having, even for Triple One, having an internal producer as well does that for them as well, where they're so dynamic and so always cutthroat. Original sound. 100%. Like I don't think there's like a nerve type beat, you know what I mean?
No.
But I feel like I'm never gonna do a something type beat. I don't know. It just works.
True. What else do you do in your life, Nerv? What else do you enjoy? Any leisurely activities that you enjoy? Anything casual? Anything outside of music that's you as a person that people
Rocket
sleep
League.
on?
Rocket
League's
League, bro.
hard as.
Fucking Rocket. Do you play that shit?
I did for a bit, but it started getting me fucking dizzy and shit. Like I started wigging it. Like every time I played, like I felt like booting every single time.
Dedication, bro. It's all about dedication.
Did you play on a computer or a console?
Xbox.
That's
Xbox,
probably why.
Xbox One. Nah, man, that's like, I don't relax enough, and lately I've been playing a lot of Rocket League, and I feel like that's my time to shut off.
Did you take your shoes off?
I took them off because I realised that they're like nasty, but whatever. But
Rocket League, man.
I've been playing too much Rocket League, but I've also been doing too much music. So. I guess uni, if that's like an activity that I like, I guess. Like I do like uni. Rocket League, I play a bit of football.
What position?
Striker.
Hang on.
Soccer.
No, that's what I mean. I know exactly what you're talking about. Striker.
I kick the goals, bro. Trust me, I got skills.
Class.
Actually, Apocalypse Tour with like Smash Brothers, Mitchos, all that. We had a penalty shootout in Brisbane. No one will tell you, but I won. Everyone's salty. Everyone was so salty. I smashed them. They all like thought they were the best. I was like, nah, bro. Get ready for a young gun.
That's so chronic. Soccer culture is like so fun. I love soccer, like Premier League, like just as what it is culturally in Australia and UK as well. Like
it's fucking crazy, bro. But yeah, like I don't play enough, but when I do, I love it. It's good stress release and like being fit and stuff.
All exercises, I think.
Yeah, I guess I do exercise to keep myself sane mostly. Like I used to have bad back problems, so I exercise, and then now I also exercise just so I don't get like depressed or whatever. Yeah. So like, yeah. And also just so I can be fucking jacked.
Yeah. How do you stay like healthy, both mentally and physically, while on tour though? Because of how intensive it is.
Don't go on tour too much.
Yeah.
Nah, like I don't know. We'll see. If it gets to a point where I'm doing like fucking 20 stop tour all back to back, which I do hope happens one day, because I do want to like. I like the idea of. I like routine, and I feel like it'd be pretty fun to be like trying to hop around Australia and not die. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be interesting. Yeah. But I guess like we've never done a tour that's been so extensive that anything's been a problem. I think this week's a big week because we've got like 2 big shows this weekend, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I'm shooting a music video for 2 days in Melbourne. Like this has been the most packed. Like Joe has been having to really manage and be a fucking manager this week.
He's got to actually do his job.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He's got to do his job. Yeah, he's been going hard.
Yeah.
So I've been rolling around with a bum bag filled with vitamin C, Manuka honey, Berocca. I've been like, I stopped smoking, cause I had like a chest infection for like 6 months, and just didn't do anything about it. Finally went on antibiotics, felt better in 2 days.
Shit.
I was just kicking myself, and so I was like, nah, fuck this, not smoking. Because like what I do is like I like won't drink or anything for a month, and I have a show interstate, get super excited because I see all these people I love, stay up all night, get really drunk and smoke like a whole pack of ciggies, and like as if that's not gonna make you sick.
Yeah, exactly, for like us.
Yeah, and then I go back home, and there's so many times like go on tour, do all these shows, and as soon as I get back to Brizzy, I get like 6 hours sleep, and then I'm going to work or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta go do shit, and it's like it's super taxing. But I think I've just been trying my best to rest. Yeah. A lot of the time I can't chill out. Like even when I say like I play a lot of Rocket League, like that's only recently. Like it took me a long time. Like I used to not be able to play video games because I'd sit down and be like, what am I doing?
Yeah, sure.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I gotta do some shit. But I've really like started to value rest. Yeah. Because being run down and getting sick, like there's nothing you can do about it. You have to rest. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's such a uni value that gets instilled. Like I can't sit down and do nothing, because uni just pushes this culture of like you can always be doing something. You can always be reading. You can always be studying. So even like when I do my creative shit, it's like, oh, like even when I'm done with uni, sort of with uni, that like value just keeps getting like fucking, like that anxiety gets pushed in my brain. Like I can always be doing something different. Like there's no time to chill. It's fucked. Last thing, let's talk about No One Network. What is No One Network to someone that knows absolute zero about it?
No One Network is our collective, I would say. It's our brand. Kyle Golly, that does all my music videos and just like has always backed me from day one. He pretty much runs No One Network, so he does a lot of like, well, he obviously has his own merch line. He does the majority of my music videos. He has a big hand in our visual art, merch designs, general, like when we tour and we go to a city, it's like, yeah, you want to like sort out a comm, you want to go do a show, blah blah blah. Kyle and like No One Network is the entity that like figures out like who are the people in this city that are like OGs and know shit about the culture. Yeah. Let's find them and hang out with them and learn about, like, I would not have met like the majority of the people that I've met in this music industry that like are the best people, or the people that like I've learnt so much from, is because of Kyle Golly and like No One Network, and like him doing his thing and networking. Like it's just all about networking. And it's like our brand, like, you know, like we're pushing a brand, we're pushing a culture, and yeah, it's kind of just that. Like No One Network is like, I guess like the studio that we run out of is like the No One Network studio. It's kind of just like the culture. It's not just the music, it's art, it's modeling, it's photography, it's like everything just all in one. It's like it's just our vibe.
Just a framework as well for people to indulge in that.
And it's mad to just like push something like that. Like I can't run around being like nerve, I'm the best. It's like, nah, this is my crew, and like I fuck with them. So
gives you a place to link.
Final
thing, ask everyone, you have to like neck nominate someone that should come on here and get interviewed.
Ooh,
the neck nominate.
Shit. Aaliyah or Glow. If you haven't heard of them, Glow opened the Sydney show. She's a beast. Kev put me onto her when I was looking for an opening act, and I was like, she's only just dropped her first song, and she's a beast. And Aaliyah, who I also met like 2 days ago, she's a beast. She hasn't got any music out yet, but she will soon, and I reckon she's gonna pop off. So yeah, keep her in mind.
Done.
Yeah.
Parry Talks.
Big boys.
No from Brizzy.
You already know.
Cheers for coming on.
My G.
Get to the shows. Oh, fuck. That probably would have happened by the time this is out.
Adelaide, Hobart, Melbourne. It's probably already happened and sold the fuck out because we're gods. But fuck you. Mama's Boy Tour, triple platinum.
Go stream that shit.
Yeah.
Always.
Go stream that shit. Suck me. Let's go.